welcome back to the City Boy podcast. My name is Ethan Thorne, and today I am at City Park for the match against San Jose. The vibes are incredible here. We're just 45 minutes or so before kickoff. We're giving out beach towels tonight. It's amazing. We're expecting a comprehensive victory tonight. Guys, how was the game?
All right, y'all. Welcome back to City Boys YouTube channel, podcast. We're all around the internet now. If you guys haven't noticed, thank you, Ethan, for that fine intro. Straight from that San Jose match. And I got to say, it was a good one, Ethan. Thanks for asking. The 2-0 dub, 2 goals for the boys, and a clean sheet definitely made me smile. But this is an episode. It's going to be a tale of 2 games. A good one and a bad one. But hey, let's take a peek at this good one first. What'd you guys think?
Yeah, like Grayson said, a lot to recap in this episode. Specifically the San Jose game. I paid for in-flight Wi-Fi. For those of you who don't know, I took a little week trip to Missouri. Paid for the in-flight Wi-Fi so that I could watch this San Jose game, and boy, was the $8 on Alaska Airlines worth it.
I'm so glad that we all got treated to a great little victory for St. Louis City. It was a day after my birthday, so you guys know I was stoked on that. And the City Boys got to link up. Never a bad time for that to happen. So was really, really excited for the City victory. I mean, 3 points. I don't care if it's the worst team in the league, guys. This is 3 points we're talking about. With that being said, you guys want to go over it real quick?
Yeah, let's get after it.
Yeah, let me take you through who played in this game, or at least who started. Roman Berkey in net as always, or previously as always. We will get into that later. Right to left, we had Thomas Totland, Chris Durkin playing center back, Tim Parker and Jaden Reed making another start out there at left back. Had Njabala Blom, Johnny Klein, and Edu Leuven manning the center of the park. And then Jose Kojima, Novki Thorson, and Indiana Vasilev as our attacking players. What'd you guys think of this lineup?
Yeah, obviously we had a lot of missing pieces. So Hackworth had a lot to deal with for his first match. And it seems like he put the pieces in the right spot. He used a couple players really creatively. We had mentioned a couple times Chris Durkin looked like he could possibly put in a shift at center back, and he actually did decently well. So yeah, I'm happy with how the team did that match.
Yeah, overall, very solid performance. This lineup kind of felt like when you are doing not necessarily complicated math, but when you're doing math that has a few equations and you do a few wrong steps, but you still get the right answer. That's what this lineup felt like to me. And the right answer was the right answer. Don't check his work. Chris Durkin at center back. I don't know if we'll see it again this season, but hey, it got the job done.
Yeah, I was pleased with the performance. The starting 11 that had to go out there, while yes, it was a mock-up of our best possible lineup, still answered the question correctly and got the job done. So can't really complain too much on the San Jose game. How did it go, Mr. Ethan was at the game?
Well, gentlemen, I am pleased to report, as you guys saw from the pre-match, the vibes were so high at City Park. It was a great midweek matchup for us. St. Louis City kept a clean sheet, and we scored 2 goals. Edu Leuven starts off the scoring for St. Louis City in the 28th minute. Now, a lot of people, a lot of casuals, I'll say, might say that there's a little bit of luck involved in this goal. The goalkeeper should have done a better job. All my goalkeepers can stand up and say that any ball with curve, knuckle, and swaz on it is going to be tough to save. It bounces right before it gets to the goalkeeper. Excellent skill from Edu Leuven to pull off that goal. Also, good teams get a little bit of luck. That's all I'm saying, okay? Good teams get just a little bit of luck. Good bounces go their way. Moving on, St. Louis City's second goal scored in the 41st minute. This time, Jose Kahima getting on the score sheet. I personally love this set piece. I'd love to hear you guys' take on it, but to me, it looked totally intentional from the game. Chris Durkin steps up like he's going to take it and then holds his hands out, like looking frustrated. The guys are all walking back. Boom, Indiana serves it in. Jose Cahima's there just to tap it right in. It was really, really great to see him get on the score sheet. And then for us to maintain a 2-goal lead. No more goals to report in this matchup. Very exciting stuff. The match ball was delivered by women parachuting in from the sky. Excellent way to start the game. I think that high note really plateaued for the whole match. It was great stuff from St. Louis City. What do you guys think of the goals?
Yeah, definitely some fun goals. Surprised to get 2 unanswered goals in the first half and no answers at all in the second half. I was just really happy to see a nice lockdown clean sheet because San Jose did cause a couple of issues. Nothing that this shambles of a back line couldn't handle. So once again, I'm just happy that we prove we are not the worst team in the league. We're a little bit better than San Jose, so that's
Without
huge.
a doubt.
Most importantly for me, just glad we were able to take home the W. As far as the Kahima goal, it would be disrespectful to say anything other than it was very, very on purpose. Give both Indy and Kahima their flowers. Well-deserved goal, well-worked goal. Definitely straight off the training ground, under a new coach as well. So very, very pleased with this performance. But as we move forward, no longer pleased.
Yeah, you guys ready to get into the lineup of the night match from these night and day games?
Serve it up to us, Ethan. What we come up with?
So, gentlemen, of course, our Iron Man Roman Berkey starts between the net. We'll see what happens. Akil Watts gets a start at right back this week with Michael Wenzel and Tim Parker making up our center back positions. Jaden Reed making his first team signing, getting his start this week. Great performance from him. Chris Durkin and Njabo Bloom make up the pivot roles in this 4-2-3-1 formation. Jose Kahima on the right side. Johnny Klein starting at center attacking mid. Indiana Vasilev on the left side of the three, with Novki Thoresen rounding out the starting 11. Now, this 11 changed quite a bit, and it began early on. All right. We see Roman Berkey go down and ask for a substitution. I was so shocked when this happened. What'd you guys make of that?
Just really devastating to lose that caliber of a player that early in this match. I was about to say this lineup is honestly better, in my opinion, than the lineup we had against San Jose. And it was just shocking to see the performance that came out of it. Uh, but yeah, part of that is losing our rock at the back, Berkey, pretty early in the match. So that I know that was a big blow to the squad, and I'm sure the toll that all these injuries are taking is definitely in the minds of the players on the field, and I'm sure it affected a little bit of our mentality throughout the rest of the match.
Yeah, I think I speak for every fan and then again, every player on the team. When your captain, your leader goes down, wind gets taken right out of your sails. There's a big lack of oxygen in the stadium. And definitely for me, as I was watching the game, I had to finish the rest of my beer just to make it through the rest of that half without Roman. I thought Ben Lunt looked okay coming in for him, at least for the first half, but second half, there were definitely some saves that I thought Roman would have been able to get to that unfortunately our 6'7" giraffe of a goalkeeper was not able to get to. But keep going.
So that sub took place in the 32nd minute. Definitely a devastating blow to the side going through this already tumultuous time. Later on in the second half, just before the 60th minute, we see Thomas Totland enter for Akil Watts and Sam Adeniran come on. In the 78th minute, we see our two concluding substitutions with Anthony Markinich and Joshua Yarrow entering, which is a good sign for Yarrow. Was very surprised to see Anthony Markinich go in at left mid. Yeah, I thought that he has shown better attacking than defending qualities, although just felt a little bit wedged in there.
Yeah, as far as like we just talked about San Jose, how the problems were answered correctly by John Hackworth. The problems weren't answered correctly as far as putting Anthony Markinich at left mid. I know that was more out of just a necessity substitution to throw someone in the attack, and we don't have a lot of healthy attackers right now. And also, I don't think that that was the correct decision. What do you think, Gray?
Yeah, I much would have liked to see maybe a City 2 attacker like Caden Glover come on. Just get some minutes under his belt. There's no reason to put Marcanic in out of position. If you're bringing in Marcanic into the left back so he could get some minutes and maybe get back to his form that we saw initially when he joined STL, I'm good with that. But playing him out of position when you have someone who could do a job there and just finish out the match, I would have much rather see one of these younger guys get a shot.
Yep. One final note on the lineup. There's one critical name that we usually mention that we have not this week, and that is Edu Lovin. On FOTMob, he's listed with a groin injury. I'm not 100% sure how verifiable that is. I thought it was just something to do with his leg, but we are definitely going to dive more into the injury bug that has bit St. Louis City.
Indeed. I think we're gonna get into our goal breakdown, right?
Yeah, and you are first up, Grayson. What
Indeed, yeah.
happened?
I'll go ahead and kick us off with these first 30 minutes. So game started out hot. I mean, 2 goals in the first 10 is pretty crazy. So I had the first goal came out, Colorado Rapids came out on a hot foot. Uh, as we see a lot through this match, their counterattack was scary and left us exposed so many times and really exposed Wenzel this match. I know we've been singing his praises, but he looked so just jumpy and out of place this match. There's a couple times where he jumped forward, and this goal was one of them. He jumped forward to press the attacker who beat him with ease, then leaving St. Louis a man down for the rest of the counter. Ball gets fed to Cole Bassett, who eventually would find Kevin Cabral on the right side just to slot it home. Kudos to the players who did finish out that play and tried and attempted to run it out. But St. Louis replies fast, and boy, do I love to see it. Jaden Reed, the City 2 player, receives the ball on the left side right at midfield and just drives down the field, just drives, takes his space. As he pulls up, 2 defenders step up to him, and he does one of my favorite moves. It's so simple. He stops the ball. The defenders thinks he's about to stop, so they press in, and he just taps it past, finds his own space, enough space for a nice cross back up to the penalty spot, where all of 4 foot nothing Johnny Klein gets up for a power header to the top left corner. And yeah, this play was just beautiful. Good to see these City 2 boys working together. More on that later.
Shout out to all my 5'7" kings out there. Yes, sir. They get up, don't they?
Yeah, it was a hell of a short king header. Had to love that goal. Was really impressed. Obviously, when you're smallest guy on the field, I think I talked about it a couple weeks ago. He's the shortest guy on the field, but he's going up for every header. So the fact that he was able to have a free one in the box made it that much easier for him to use his bunnies and get up in, like Gray said, a hour header into the top corner. I guess I've got the next 30. Not a ton to report in the middle 30 of the game. Obviously, halftime took place, but early in the second 30, the 35th minute, Cole Bassett scored. There was a long ball over the top. Again, Wenzel tried to step in order to get his man offsides, but he was just too late in the step. Cabral over the top, too much time and space down in our corner to pick his head up and find Cole Bassett all alone at the penalty spot, slots it back. Cole Bassett, one-time finish, left corner. Here we are finding ourselves down 2-1 in a game where we really needed to get points.
Yeah, after the 60th minute is kind of where the collapse, I would say, takes place. St. Louis City did not lack any chances. Sam got in behind in the 63rd minute, but failed to even get it on target. The ensuing goal kick leads to a really good chance for Rafael Navarro and a good save from Ben Lunt. Later on, we see really good delivery from around 35 yards out from Totland, but neither Thor or Durkin could capitalize on that. I thought for sure we were going to get one back in that moment. Eventually, we see a yellow card issued to Durkin. Then the problems really start to come after some substitutions for St. Louis City. Calvin Harris, not the DJ, whips in a venomous cross to who is it? Jonathan Lewis, Jonathan
Yeah, yeah.
someone in the 80th minute, and he smashes it home just to add the dagger. After this game, I was like, all right, St. Louis City needs to get out of here from 2 goals down. Maybe we get one back. The fat lady hasn't sung yet. And as a matter of fact, Sam Adeniran provided really great service to Thorson, but his touch just let him down in the 82nd minute. Zach Steffen collects. To end the game, Yappy puts in a goal in the 89th minute, 4-1 Colorado. Just a pretty simple tap in after some good physical work from Yappy. Pretty hilarious name, by the way. And the final event of the match is Thomas Totland going for goal from a set piece from around 30 yards out. I realistically didn't stand a chance, but hey, shot on target in the frame in the stats. That would conclude St. Louis City's bend over and take it match against Colorado.
Yeah, I've been on the wrong end of a lot of 4-1 matches. That scoreline does not feel good. Does not feel good.
Yeah, and it's also a wild scoreline based on how well we were in the attack in the first half. Whatever took place at halftime, whether John Hackworth just isn't used to giving team talks at halftime, or the altitude had gotten to us in Colorado, or any of the various excuses that you could make for the team to go out and get scored on 2 more times in the second half with no sort of answer, really. Honestly, I felt embarrassed. Like, if I were wearing city colors in Colorado, I would throw a hoodie on just so that I wouldn't get clowned in public. That one hurt.
Yeah, not too much to say other than a really brutal loss. Colorado poured it on, and it didn't help that 2 of their goals felt like it took 3 passes for them to dissect us, go over the top, and put it in the back of the net. It really felt that Colorado was scoring at will, for lack of a better word, and yeah, I was glad when the final whistle blew.
Yeah, our defense looks super weak at the moment. I know we have a mixture of young City 2 guys and some players with a little bit of experience. It's definitely not our first choice back line or goalkeeper at this point, but a lot needs to improve. It was just a painful watch for the defense this week. And not much help from the midfield defensively either, which is we usually get a lot of help from Durkin and Blom, but this was a rough match for everybody involved. Should we get into our 3 points from this week? What do you guys think?
Absolutely.
Please get us going.
All right, yeah, I can start it off. Start it off on a little bit of a positive. Yeah, as a tale of 2 games, obviously not the games really don't look anything similar when you hold them next to each other. But there was something that maintained and stayed the same, and that was the quality that is coming from our City 2 players. Not all of them, specifically Johnny Klein and Jaden Reed. Just beautiful chemistry and connection. We can definitely see that those two have put in some minutes together on the same pitch. Both guys solid shifts, each of them getting a full 90 for both of these matches. So first match, of course, we are the favorites. We get a lot less pressure, more opportunities to create, which was definitely great for both of them, for Reed and Klein. Reed created 3 chances this match from the left back position, which was the match high, and had 100% accuracy on his crosses, which were super nice. I remember texting you guys that I thought Reed definitely looked like he has an assist in him. He's definitely going to be a player that's going to be super important, finding that final pass into the box. He can get his head up and find players. And it's been consistent. He's put in 3 or 4 balls into the box every match from what I've seen. And he would prove me right in the second game where he would find that assist. And he was an all-around monster in the second game. I know nobody really had a great game, but Jaden definitely had something to defend, and he had a good match out there. Created 2 chances, won 10 duels the entire match, which was the high. Completed 5 out of 6 attempted dribbles, and it was his fancy footwork that created that space for the assist for the goal. And that the assist was for Johnny Klein, the second guy I want to talk about, who's been just an energizer bunny. He's been
So good.
all over, just relentless pressing. Definitely fits St. Louis's game plan. And yeah, I'm glad that he got rewarded with that goal. He had looked a decent threat, had a big chance blocked in that first match against San Jose, where I definitely thought he could have scored. And I was kind of sad because if he had any chance to score, it was during that game. But I'm glad he got his moment. And yeah, the chemistry and the creativity between the two is blossoming. So I definitely think those two have earned their call up. Uh, and yeah, in the first match, I mean, there was a moment that I thought almost looked identical to the goal in build-up. So the ball gets cleared out from an STL corner. So we take the corner, they clear it out, and it almost looks like San Jose is going to have us on the counter. There's one defender back, and he's getting pressed. It's Jaden Reed, though. The ball bounces down. Jaden Reed looks calm and collected, looks over his shoulder, sees Christian Espinoza closing down. He lets the ball settle. He feels it out with his foot. As soon as Espinoza pressures him, he just drops his shoulder, turns the other way, loses him so easy, drives down the pitch, hits a hezzy little fake cross to get a little bit further into the defense without getting pressured. And then as he gets closer, 2 men pop out. Johnny Klein's defender loses his man, and Jaden Reed finds him immediately. Johnny Klein gets closed in on, shifts the ball to his left, and hits it top right corner. Keeper made an insane save, but I thought that was Klein's first goal right there. So yeah, like definitely earned their call ups, earning their contracts, and City 2 is bringing some heat to the City squad. So I'm excited to see what City 2 can bring to us in the future. I'm glad that St. Louis has been open and willing to promote players from within, from our own academy, because that, of course, is a great business model as well as a game plan on the field. So a lot of positives for the future there from those 2 players. What do you guys think about them?
Love that outlook, Grayson. It's so important for a good side to have a good academy team. And there's one other player that St. Louis City 2 has provided the first team that we don't see all too often right now, but has been extremely electric for us. Mr. Celio Pompeu. That's how he got into the side, and he made a name for himself on the second team. I definitely think other academy players took notice and are following in his footsteps. It's been amazing to see Jaden Reed succeed on the level that he has and already producing in the score sheet. And there really couldn't be a better time as we're facing a lot of players out and a lot of injuries. So it really couldn't come at a better time.
Dude,
Yeah,
you just hyped me up just to think about Celio and Jaden Reed on that left-hand side. Next season's going to be good.
Nasty.
for what has been a D minus overall for City's main team, City senior squad. it has been an A plus coming from City to those players that have been promoted. Each and every one of them has given me hope for the future seasons to come. I know we broke down a lot of them in a previous episode, but they've just continued to come back week in and week out and show why they deserve to be on the first team. I know Wenzel kind of had a bad game this game, but for the 3 games I think he's played now, he's only had one bad game. So 66% is still a D technically, but I'm sure Wenzel will pick back up where he left off a couple of games ago. But yeah, as far as Jaden Reed goes, he's been a very, very bright light recently for the team that we haven't had in a while. So really excited to see where his career goes and if he can be our starting outside back in our cup final here and maybe this year, but more than likely in the years to come.
Yeah, it's really great. And as I mentioned, it really couldn't come in a better time just because, to my point, our second point of the episode, it really feels like St. Louis City is just dealing with a lot of injuries. A lot of players have been out recently. I'm going to read the list of injured players going into this Colorado game. We'll get into the changes that have come since. But of course, we just mentioned Celio Pompeu. No real telling when he'll be back. Edu Lovin came into this game nursing an injury. Joakim Nielsen is injured. Joao Klaus is nursing an injury. Rasmus Alm is injured. Thomas Ostrak is injured. Roman Berkey picked up an injury in the Colorado game. And Kyle Hebert has been out on international duty, but returning. Now, given the starting 11, this could change, but that, and Jacob is holding it up for us, is 8 starting 11 players that are currently out or injured. It could not be a tougher time at St. Louis City. They're going through all of these players being out as well as a head coaching change. And it has really impacted the team that's on the field for St. Louis City. We already talked about how Chris Durkin went out at center back against San Jose. Thorson has been seeing really consistent minutes up top. This is not something we would have predicted early on in the season. Vasilev has been playing out wide, which we have seen, but we know him to be strongest in the center. Kahima has been playing out wide, where he has looked very good. Johnny Klein, a City 2 player, is starting at center attacking mid. Akil Watts is starting at right back instead of Thomas Totland. Njabo Blom is starting at the pivot role, which we know he can do well at. Anthony Markinich played at left mid. These are so many changes. Ben Lunt is not just making his appearance against Vancouver, not a token goalkeeper anymore. He is currently the starting goalie for St. Louis City SC. And now we are seeing significant time for Sam Adeniran and City 2 players Michael Wenzel and Jaden Reed. To Jacob's count, that is 12 different changes that we've seen in the starting 11. So much has changed for this side. John Hackworth is dealing with a lot on his plate, and thank goodness for Jaden Reed. The City 2 call-ups have been well-deserved, and they have performed, with the exception of Wenzel's last game. I could not be happier that these players are here. With all that being said, we have some up-to-date current injury and training news for St. Louis City. We're filming on July 10th. Today's training, Jake Girdwood Reich has arrived to the side. He is at training, and I could not be more excited. Cedric Toiker is in training for the side. This is huge. He is going to provide a big attacking boost, and with Klaus out, couldn't come at a better time. Nilsson is back to training. We've seen his recurring hamstring injury. We really hope he's healed this time. Rasmus Alm is doing solo cardio, which is a positive outlook. Edu Lovin is running solo on the sideline. Unfortunately, no Roman Berkey in training today, so his status is still up in the air. Really, all those players are up in the air with the exception of our signings. This is all reported by Matt Baker, by the way, on Twitter. Shout out to him and the Flyover Footy podcast. If you're listening in here, you've probably heard them, but good stuff is on the horizon. While it seems like the darkest times are behind us, I just talked for a long time, guys. What do you make of the lineups that we've put out dealing with all these injuries?
For me, this kind of takes us, or at least me, back to our breakdown of Bradley Carnell being fired. Like, yeah, we did get the coach firing bump for one game with San Jose. But I don't think we did a good enough job at really looking at the type of stuff that he's had to deal with this season, as far as trying to make the right decisions with not a full squad that he's used to. Like last year, we dealt with a little bit of injury, but we had more than 80% of our key players stayed healthy throughout the entire season. And like I just threw up on my fingers and Ethan counted, like we're down 8 starters. And yeah, we did put a lot of the blame on him for making those in-game bad decisions, but like he was working with a less than ideal squad, and therefore we were getting less than ideal results. So I'm kind of going to backpedal a little bit from our Bradley Carnell firing. I really do feel bad for him. We can see with this last game that John Hackworth dealing with the same hand, we still got mollywopped 4-1. So yeah, we just got to deal with these injuries and keep pushing forward. How do you feel about it, Grayson?
I don't really feel any type of way, you know? Like I'm much happier with the experimenting that Hackworth has been doing so far, rather than, you know, like he's been putting like he put Dirk in center back rather than Mark Hannick and Akil Watts and, you know, 4 left backs. So obviously, yeah, Carnell had a lot to deal with. Hackworth also has a lot to deal with, but we are T minus 10 days away from seeing Tukert on the field for STL, guys. So that is if he plays against SKC, which is his first game available. But, you know, anything can happen. I'm optimistic.
I will say that I want to give John Hackworth a lot of credit for what he's done with the side. I think tactically we looked good, even though we got dominated 4-1. In the attack, I thought we looked as productive as ever this season. I would have never put Jose Kahima out wide, but I think that's been a revelation for us. He's still finding his feet out there, but Johnny Klein looks very good at the center attacking mid role, especially while Edu's out. So I do want to give him his credit. It does feel like he is trying to put the puzzle together, missing some pieces. So definitely a tough job. Also tough gig for Carnell, as we saw. Yeah, Jacob, you wanna bring us into our third and final point?
Ethan, be more than happy to take you guys into my point. This is going to be not really a long point as far as me talking a whole bunch, but long as in we have a lot to talk about here. I've been seeing a lot of chatter in social media about the contracts that are going to be expiring at the end of the season, and I just wanted to go over them and see whether or not we believe these players deserve extensions or we should let them walk at the end of the season. So we've got Tim Parker, Chris Durkin, and Jabala Blum, Indiana Vasilev, Jake Nervinsky, Ben Lunt, Sam Adeniran, Joshua Yarrow, Anthony Markinich, Akil Watts, Jose Kahima, all contracts expiring December 31st, 2024. The players with club options are Chris Durkin for 25 and 26, and Jabala Blum for 25, 26, Indiana Vasilev 25 and 26, Jake Nervinsky just 25, Ben Lunt just 25, Markinich just 25, Akil Watts 25 and 26, and then Jose Kajima with an option in 25, 26, and 27. As far as those players go, I'm going to start with the guys whose contracts just end and ask you guys whether or not we think they deserve to be signed again. First and foremost is Tim Parker. He's currently getting paid $1 million a season. Not too crazy an amount of money for the caliber of center back that he is, and also can that $1 million be placed somewhere else in another asset? So I'm going to start with you, Grayson. Should we try and make a deal for, let's say, the same amount of money, or do we let Tim Parker walk?
I am gonna say let Tim Parker walk. Thank you for your service, sir. He's 31. Nothing against him, but I think, yeah, St. Louis he is our best center back. he is our best center back. So that being said, we better use that money wisely and get a better one.
Man, I love Concrete Cleat Parker. I think that's the worst nickname for him. He's really rapid if you watch his get up. I'm with you though, Grayson. Last year's MLS Defender of the Year finalist is aging just a bit. I'll say this, he's not St. Louis City's center back of the future. Depending on what happens with Joshua Yarrow and his potential transfer, the depth at center back wouldn't be bad, but it's a lot of money that we could be playing a young and up and coming center back or young and established center back in the MLS.
Ideally,
I
1 year contract.
just 1 year extension. I think I'm with you guys with, Jake Gerwood Wright coming in, Michael Venzel just
Yep.
signing his first team. We've still got Nielsen for a couple years. You said that bit about Yarrow. I'll talk about my opinion on him in a little bit. I think we'll have the depth because we'll still have Kyle Hebert. Like, I have been very appreciative of what Tim Parker has given us this last season and 2/3. And also, I don't imagine he will perform any better the years going forward. So, in my opinion, let him walk. That moves us into Sam Adeniran, a very polarizing player for the team. Been semi-polarizing on this podcast. We were really high on him at the beginning of the season. After the Carnell stuff, he stopped seeing minutes, and since the Carnell stuff, he hasn't really been performing to what we know he can perform to. He's currently making $93,988 a season, a whole lot less than $1 million a season. Kind of a bargain, in my opinion, for a secondary striker. But this time I'll start with you, Ethan. Do we give him another year or do we let him walk?
I'm saying we let Sam walk. I think it's a little bit too late already that we haven't, and not from a selfish standpoint. This is purely selfless. All right, I want to see Sam do well. He did provide really good stuff for us last season, so by no means do I think he's bad. I know that someone on this podcast has called him a cancer in the locker room, which may be true. I don't know. I'm not there, but I think this man should have already gotten paid. We know that he's gotten European looks. There have been rumors about him in Austrian club Lask. I think that would be a good move for him and would open up a little more room for us to explore our options. Although I do think if we let Sam go, it is time to sign another striker, even with our new signings.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think I let Sam walk. Fantastic player, has done a job for St. Louis, but yeah, sadly, like Jake was saying, has not looked the player that we saw at the beginning of the season. Beginning of this season, I was starting to think that he was going to take that starting position from Klaus and really cement himself as our starter, our goal getter. But yeah, ever since that row with Carnell, he's been out of the squad, out of the 11, and out of our minds, really. In my mind, he needs a move just to get him started again. And that would free up some space to get a player who actually wants to be here. So,
I am with both of you. It sucks though, because I was in love with his career storyline last season. We signed him from
yeah.
Seattle. We sent him out on loan. He starts dominating out on loan. When Klaus goes down and we've just got Joaquini up top, we bring him back in to be that secondary striker role. He comes back in, he scores some goals for us. He starts off this season super hot, just like you were saying, Grayson. We were thinking, the starting striker position's up for grabs with the performances he was putting in, and then decline, just decline. He got into the scuffle. He stopped training. He stopped playing. He stopped traveling. He just, he was already gone, basically. And then as he's come back, he just, in my opinion, it looks like he's playing to not get hurt, which from a business standpoint, I get it. If you're already not wanting to be here, why put yourself at risk? You've got tape already. so I get it. And also it sucks. I do think he will be a very serviceable striker for another team. I just hope his revenge tour doesn't take place against us. Moving on, the third and final player that does not have a club option is Joshua Yarrow. He is making $89,716 a season. He is rumored to be in talks with San Diego, the expansion side coming next season. He is from San Diego. I'm going to start with this one. I think if there's a deal to be made, it needs to happen ASAP. I have really loved the shifts he's put in, and also with the names we mentioned earlier in the center back position, it's going to be really tough for him to get clock, and that's not fair to him as a player. We're not going to send him down to City 2 just to get clock. He's already signed to a first team contract. So I say we either try to make a deal or we let him walk. 89,000 as far as contract money goes is a drop in the bucket for really good sides, and that money can be placed elsewhere. So thank you, Joshua. Good luck in San Diego or wherever you go, but for me, you're gone. What do you think, Grayson?
Yeah, I mean, especially knowing that he's from San Diego, let the guy go home. Like, I think he's 28, so that'd be a good place to end his career, like 4 or 5 more years. He's got a good stint at San Diego in him, and then he can do whatever he wants. I think he's been fantastic for St. Louis. I'd love to keep him for rotation, but yeah, he wouldn't make my starting 11, but I do love him. So all the best.
Totally agree. And if I'm Josh Yarrow, I would probably be doing everything in my power to get home. I believe he started his professional career at the San Diego Loyal, the old USL team that used to be out there. So it does seem like the perfect coming home for him toward the twilight of his career. Uh, Another former City 2 player who was here, the former captain of City 2 after the club's inception. So he's put in a lot of time for City. It would be, I wouldn't say upsetting to see him go, because it's good to see people you love succeed, but would be a loss for the squad. Although, yeah, opens up a roster spot, and we've seen City 2 guys like Michael Wenzel come up and succeed. So we would have Hebert and Nerwinski as well. Not the strongest two names I just said, but hey, they're options, right?
Funny that you say that because we're going to move into kind of rapid fire. Just give me yes or no on the club options. Jake Nervinsky, club option for 25.
Let him walk.
That's double no. Ben Lunt, club option 25.
Let him walk. Christian Oliveris looks good.
All right. We have us as GMs have yet to re-sign a player.
We are overhauling the squad.
Okay. Chris Durkin, club option 25 and 26. I say re-sign.
Put pen to paper immediately, please.
2026.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Njabala Blum, club option 25 and 26.
2025.
Agreed, and then a very good transfer piece.
I'm in the same boat as the two of you.
I just feel like he's sorry.
All good, all good. Indiana Vasilev, 25 and 26. Absolutely resign.
2032.
26,
2032. Get this man a bag.
Absolutely
Please come back.
resign. Anthony Markinich, just 2025.
Yes. I know we haven't talked about him positively, but I like him.
I'm saying he's very young. I want to say he's like 23 or 24, still developing in the MLS. So I'm gonna say re-sign him. He has not performed the best this season, but I do have belief. I do.
We'll get better.
I know it's supposed to be rapid fire. I say no. I think we've got enough depth at that outside back, like specifically left back position. With the way Jaden Reed's been performing, he's currently my starter. And then we've seen Akil Watts put in a shift at both outside backs. I know the Colorado game, he was not trying to get back on defense at all. But I say let Markinich walk. Yeah, let him walk. Okay, that brings us to Akil Watts, club option 25 and 26. I say resign Akil Watts.
Agreed. Resign.
Yeah,
Okay, and then I think this is going to be resounding. Jose Kahima, 25, 26, and 27. I say yes, resign.
To 27, please, Jose.
I'll take him.
Cool. Well, that wraps up my point and takes us straight into Kick Clash, which Grayson had a great idea for this weekend. You want to let him know what it is?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Kick Clash head to head to the death. The winner will not be executed between Colorado's home kit and San Jose's away kit. Who will survive? Probably not San Jose. That kit is ugly as shit. This kit. Oh wait, ding ding ding. I forgot. Whatever. For a high on white kit podcast, we haven't rated a white kit high in so long. The trend continues. This one's ugly. Shout out for trying to attempt a retro kit. I like it, but terrible execution. It's so bland and boring. It looks like a kit from Kicking and Screaming. Like we've seen it before. I actually just watched it the other day. So
Yeah, I was going to say shout out Kicking and Screaming. That's a dope movie.
so I'm gonna say the Gladiators kits from Kicking and Screaming were better. So
Damn.
this kit gets a 4 from me. This is ugly. Ugly. Do you want me to
Okay,
do Colorado too, or
yeah.
okay, Colorado is a 9. That shit is fire. I'm a big fan
Damn.
of the burgundy and teal. You really don't see that in that colorway in sports too often outside of English soccer, where you got Burnley, you got Aston Villa, and whatnot. But I'm a big fan of the color scheme. The Rapids do it well. And this kit with the cool racing stripe checker flag pattern, it looks tight. So I give this a solid 9, 9.0.
Wow. All right, Ethan, you're up.
Well, I'm gonna go first with San Jose because I feel a little differently, man. I actually really like this kit and its simplicity. Call me a sucker because I like red teams. You know, we added a new scarf up the Red Devils. But yeah, dude, I hate to say it. I love this kit. I love it. The red and white is good with
Who the
me.
fuck is that guy?
To be fair, Grayson, I don't disagree that it is boring. Okay, I will concede that, but the retro logo looks exquisite to me. It's celebrating 50 years of San Jose soccer, something I really hope that St. Louis City can do one day. So I'm giving it its props. Like we're a high on white podcast. I'm following that trend. For me, 8.2 for the San Jose kit. And on top of that, we've seen some leaked retro kits coming out, and I think this is potentially better than some of those. But we'll probably see the third kits here soon. Moving on to Colorado. Yeah, this kid bangs. That's really all there is to it. I'm with you, Grayson, on the 9.0. The burgundy and sky blue goes insane. And the checkered wavy pattern pays homage to the supporters section, which is always gonna get props from me. So yeah, this kid slaps. Colorado went 2 for 2. Right now, they're in second place behind St. Louis City, as far as I'm concerned, with the best kits in the MLS.
Wow. That's all I have to say to your takes there, Ethan. Yeah, as you were all watching, my facial expressions as far as the San Jose Earthquakes kits, they're a bottom of the league team, and this is a bottom of the league kit. It is so ugly. The 4 bars for whoever Intermedia Cloud Communications is, I'm gonna clown you. That's terrible logo coming from you guys in the center of the belly. Um, the Earthquakes badge looks kind of looks buns too, bro. It's so bad to me. This is a might be my lowest rating. This is like a 1.4 for me. It's ugly.
Sipping
Um
haterade.
oh yeah, we beat you 2-0 and our kits are better than yours by a mile, so suck on that. If I'm gonna drop $160 on MLS shop, it is not gonna be on this kit.
I was about to
Facts.
say it's on a different
Facts.
red and white kit.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's for sure.
Just like everybody else's Colorado kit goes hard. You guys have said everything about it there is to say, so I'm just gonna give my rating. It is a 8.5 for me. It would be higher if they would have only beat us 3-1, but they beat us 4-1, so it's an 8.5. Shout out Colorado. Your team over there is doing big things. San Jose, you could learn a lot from Colorado's team.
Well,
Dude, Colorado's definitely on the up and up. Just one more thing, Grayson. I'm sorry, but Chris Armas is doing magic over there. Kind of what I was expecting Bradley Carnell to work at St. Louis City, but that's that's okay. We move forward. We're playing John Ball now.
I was gonna say it looks like San Jose gets executed here.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot more red on that jersey now.
Oops. But regardless, let's go ahead and look forward to our next matchup for St. Louis City. It's a very familiar face and not a good one. We're going up against Vancouver again. This one's going to be on Saturday, the 13th. It's going to be a doozy. Obviously, we saw them 2 match days ago, or I guess it was the third match day ago. So we faced them and we lost 4-3 after going up 2-0 early. How do you guys think? If we're going to see any change in the scoreline, what do you guys think is going to happen?
Go ahead, Jake.
This is a tough one for me to feel confident in. I do think it's better that we're going to be playing at home this time. We're not going to have to travel to Vancouver, which for me, being in Portland is literally just like right up there. But with how we looked in the second half of this last game, the fact that we gave up 3 wild goals to them in the last game, all with Ben Lunt in net, and we've got him more than likely in net again. Loven not really coming back. I'm gonna predict I mean, dude, we got to start winning games if we're gonna make playoffs, but I don't think this is gonna be one that we win. So at best, I'm gonna predict us to draw 3-3.
Okay. 3-3 draw sounds about right, especially after that first match ended 4-3. That was
Oh, yeah, I need to choose a goal scorer. Indiana Vasilev is gonna score.
That's an excellent shout. I think he might have been my pick as well. While Grayson's doing a little technical work, I'm gonna go ahead and make my prediction here. Vancouver has not kept a clean sheet almost all season. It's been 13 matches since their last one, so I'm certainly predicting St. Louis City finds the back of the net. You're not wrong, Jacob. It really is difficult to predict a victory in this match given the injuries that we have, especially in the critical role of goalkeeper. So I think they're going to let some in as well. If we get a win, we're going to squeak it out. And I'm going to say it's going to be a 2-1 victory with Novki Thorson finding the back of the net. I think he's going to put one away early and set the tone for the game.
love to see it. Love to see it. I'm gonna agree with Jacob. I think we're gonna get a draw out of this one as the best we can do. Um, Ideally, we go up 2-0 early, just like we did last game. And we keep that clean sheet, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think this match is gonna end 1-1. I don't think we're gonna get as many goals as last time. My goal scorer for this week is going to be Blum.
Wow. Oh, okay. Another banger type of goal or a little more simple?
Um, I think it's gonna be another lucky one, like another deflection. Yeah,
Hey, a goal's a goal. A goal's a goal.
We'll take it. But yeah, hopefully St. Louis will come out with a big 3 points and we start climbing that table again. That would be huge.
That would be
Any
huge.
final thoughts before we close out this ep?
Yeah, so look forward to one of the upcoming 2 episodes. We are going to be having a very special guest on the podcast. It's going to be a little bit of the same type of episode and a little bit more uh interview-esque about another big old fan of St. Louis City. So be on the lookout for that one. It should be a lot of fun to record, and I'm hoping it's going to be a lot of fun to listen to. So be on the lookout for that. Any other final thoughts, boys?
I got a couple. Hell yeah. Shout out to all of our St. Louis City out of state fans. Not one of us is in St. Louis as we record these. So we just want to show y'all big love. We know what it means to not live there and still love and support the team. Grayson, you mentioned the table, and I just want to recap it real quick for us. St. Louis City is currently sitting in 12th. We are 3 positions out of a playoff berth at the moment. We are on 22 points. And Austin FC is that threshold right now on 30. So we really need some results going forward. Also, just to recap, we are still above Sporting Kansas City, although they are slowly climbing. They're only 2 points behind us. So that match against them is it's for all the cookies.
Yeah, I think that match against them is either going to spark our playoff run or it's going to snuff it out really fast.
I
Good
guess
times are coming up, though. I'm excited.
we'll see. We're going to have a reverse season that they did last year where our wins against them late in the season are going to kick off our streak.
That would be beautiful. If that's it from everybody, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, follow us on all social medias that'll be listed in the description below. Follow us on Spotify. If you are on Spotify, shout out to you. Rate us 5 stars, and don't forget to tell your mom you love her.
STL. STL.